to the show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how structure can help you. And before I get into it, if you have questions or topics that you'd like me to speak about, send me an email in at egliskiscapital@protonmail.com. And for anyone new, we do 3 types of episodes. Number 1 will be the same as today, a solo episode where I break down a topic, 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm just looking to provide value, speak on something that's important to me. Number 2 is a guest interview where the guest and I speak on an area, a domain, something that is going to help you. And then number 3, soon to come, will be when guests send me in questions or topics and they're good questions, I'm going to break them down through an episode. So let's get into it. Today, we'll start with how humans like routine. And my first point on that is the circadian rhythm. Our bodies have an internal clock. We should, if we want to optimize our health, our mental capacity, and our output, we want to be aligned with the circadian rhythm. This internal clock, it prefers that you go to bed and wake at the same time every day. It wants sunlight early in the days. And I understand today it's overcast. Sometimes the sun isn't out. You're still better off getting outside on an overcast day than to sit inside. You still get some sort of UV from an overcast day compared to completely indoors. Along with that morning sunlight, that speeds up your metabolism. So ideally, you want a healthy body, one that is digesting properly, has all the internal organs working systematically. You want your circadian rhythm to be set accordingly for those processes to act the right way. Next, we have order. So routine is linked to order because the lack of predictability leads to a dysfunctional, unpredictable experience. And if you are, if you are intentionally living, not existing, but really living a life, creating something by design specifically, that requires a good amount of order. And too much order, you're bored, you're not working, you're not interested. But too much chaos, and you're a headless chicken with no target. You have no idea what's going on. So you want to create a balance between chaos and order. That's what a good life is made of. And what I would recommend is to reflect upon how you feel when you do certain activities. So a piece of order structure for me is the gym daily. I go to the gym, I get rid of my negative emotions. All my negative energy is drastically reduced. That is part of my order. But I also need chaos too. I need some unpredictability in my life. So from after dinner time to when I go to bed, I'm doing what I want. There's no studying, there's no intellectual activities after dinner. I'm unwinding, I'm doing what I want. So even people who are on a mission to do something remarkable in the longer term, you cannot overdo yourself. That's how you burn out. And I'm not going to act like burnout isn't real. If you're doing something too intense and you don't have sustainability behind it, you're going to lose. It's that simple fairy tale or myth, the turtle and the hare. The turtle wins because it's slow, consistent, but it doesn't stop. If you're that hare, you go so fast, but then you stop, you're giving up all of that progress that you made. You're better off to be that hybrid in the middle. Push yourself, push yourself, but make sure you can do that sustainably. And then along with the order, the predictability, the fine line between unpredictability and predictability, you have stress reduction. Structure makes it so you make less decisions. When you don't have to think as much and you don't have paralysis by analysis, you actually can make a decision quickly and precisely. You don't have as much cortisol in your system. And stress is one of those hidden killers that it isn't always statistically measured. It isn't clearly measurable and easily measurable. It's more of a feel type of thing. But stress kills you. Over time, the less that you, I don't know where I was going with that. You want less stress and you're going to live longer. So creating a structure where there's less complexity and more systemized execution, where you know what decision has to be made already, doesn't require thinking. See, your brain operates 80% of the time off habits. So the more structure you can have, usually the better your life is going to be. Let's hop into point 2, avoiding chaos. Chaos is this, what I would refer to as rushing. So anytime I'm rushing, I become a lower quality human being. I forget about kindness. I forget about consideration of others. It's just me, selfish. And that's when I'm prone to make mistakes, when I'm in a rush. And I'm sure that that's how you guys feel as well. So by creating structure, you're not going to rush as much. And therefore, all those negative effects that correlate, that are coming with the rushing, they can be forgotten about. Next is anxiety. So stress and worry and chaos, it's all connected. If you don't have to make so many decisions, if you know how your day is going to start, how your day is going to end, and generally what activities will be taken in the middle of the day, there's less worries and we don't need anxiety. See, 85% of your worries never come true, never, but you still have them. It's important to recognize that. And when you understand, in your head, you can catch yourself stressing about to turn a small problem into a bigger problem. But if you remind yourself, hey, 15% chance that that really happens, odds are you'll feel a bit better. And then along with that, my next point is chaos leads to poor decisions. So if you can avoid poor decisions, you'll probably have less anxiety. And the more structure you have, the less you'll even be making decisions, because most choices will be made for you due to your structure. And then that does get into another problem, which would be, I know what I have to do, but then I don't have the discipline. So I'm going to choose to do something else, even though I know exactly what I should be doing. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But right now we're focusing on the pros of structure, not the behind the scene metrics that really have to support a structure. But almost everything that we talk about in this show is going to be correlated in some way. So just understand that you can make a structure, you can know what you have to do, but if you don't work and focus on the discipline of actually executing that task, you're not doing anything good for yourself. At least you're aiming up. You have the idea of creating a structure and following it, but we'll get into discipline on another episode. So you have less poor decisions because most of your decision making is outsourced to the structure. And then lastly, indulging. See, anytime that you do too much of a thing, of food, partying, I don't know, even studying, you do too much of an activity, you don't feel good. Now, there's a fine line. You test your limits, you push yourself, but you don't want to overextend yourself. And this comes through personal experience. You have to feel how far you are from the edge of your comfort zone. What you essentially are going to do in life is identify the edge of your comfort zone. You're going to push past the edge. And then you're going to run back into the comfort zone. Then you're going to push out again further. And then you come back again. That's the act of growing, of learning, getting uncomfortable voluntarily. You do this and you will build yourself into a tougher and stronger human. See, resiliency, everything, strength, confidence, resiliency, too much of these things is not good, but a little bit, a necessary amount, that's required. You need some things, but too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing. Interesting how that works. But you have a structure, you avoid chaos, and indulging is one of those activities that it doesn't benefit you. Feels good in that instant moment. And let me say, this is a reminder for me as well. I definitely have mistakes that I make. I indulge, I regret it. That's why I'm speaking about it, because I don't feel good when I indulge, and odds are you won't either. So, third point, wow, that's funny. I didn't notice, but we are going to talk about building discipline today. I didn't notice. So, delaying gratification. It's all correlated. So, to avoid chaos, a big piece of chaos is indulging in instant gratification. So, how do we build discipline? We focus on delaying that gratification, pushing it out at least 60 minutes. So, the way that our dopamine systems work, dopamine equals the molecule of pursuit. So, when it comes to instant gratification, you have chemical wiring inside of your body that after you build this structure that craves instant gratification, it is a positive feedback loop, and you want more of that instant gratification because you can get artificially sourced dopamine from watching porn, from eating fast food, from arguing with someone, from commenting something angry and hateful. All those methods are quick, 30 seconds or less. You get dopamine, you feel good, you're pursuing something. Okay. And when you build your discipline, you're making a conscious decision to recognize I could feel good right now, but then I'll feel bad in 30 minutes or 15 minutes, compared to, I might have botched my words there. Um, Delaying gratification. Fuck. I'm not gonna edit this out. Maybe I just have to catch my train. One sec. So you build discipline. You delay gratification, which means pushing out when you're going to feel good. What is the purpose of even delaying gratification? Like, why would you do it? If you indulge solely in instant gratification, your system gets rewired to crave easy dopamine. But easy dopamine does not make you feel fulfilled. It makes you feel good in the moment. And then you're hit with regret and guilt and shameful feelings. So it's instant pleasure with regret on the near future. Then you delay gratification, you exert effort, you put out hard work, but then you feel content, confident, and you know that you've built yourself, you've pushed through something, and now you can actually feel good. So, two different avenues. One leads you with a fading feeling of goodness where you're left with regret. The other leads you to hard work, pain, but then you're left with a satisfying feeling, which breeds confidence and is healthy in the long term. You know, that's a tough decision, but delaying gratification is what's going to get you to being a better individual. If you're listening to this, I know your aim is to be better. So pay attention. Anytime something brings you instant dopamine and instant pleasure, pay attention. Next, we have enjoying the work. So, see, the gym gets better when you have muscle. Okay. You look in the mirror and you feel better about yourself, but it doesn't get easier. I wouldn't say it gets easier. From when I had no muscle at all compared to how I feel and look now, the gym is still terribly hard. The only thing that changed is I work harder now. That's all. What I'm getting at is the work in the beginning, it's going to be driven off of a curiosity of to learn, to communicate. But once you get to a certain point, the work, it doesn't get easy. You just learn how to appreciate how it's going to make you feel when you finish the task, whether it could be any sort of delaying gratification, any sort. You're going to have resistance before you do the task, but you push through that resistance and you understand what the outcome of how you're going to feel after you understand that, you become, you build the ability to enjoy the work. You understand it is for the longer term good. Now, to build discipline, it helps when you begin to see results. And it's another positive feedback loop. If you're seeing results, it's going to make you work harder to be more consistent, to reflect and pay closer attention to any areas which can be improved. Almost everything in life, I don't want to go that far. There are so many positive feedback loops in life, so many. So be aware, pay attention. What would be an example? I don't know. I feel inclined to, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Last point. We have choosing purpose over pleasure, tightly correlated to the delaying gratification versus instant gratification. First, you have to get clear on your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, like a good amount of you probably are unsure, you're still finding yourself, you are young. I didn't really know what my purpose was until 22, 23. I'm 23 right now. So there's no rush, but there must be a fire under your ass to figure it out. Because when you can wake up and understand what has to be done today and why it has to be done, that's when you've identified your purpose. And to be aligned with something, that's your purpose. You will not ever just get hit with your purpose. You're going to have to investigate yourself, to look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your personality, to learn from podcasts and YouTube videos and intellectuals. You're going to have to go through a lot of personal pain to figure out what you don't want. And you're going to have to ask a lot of questions to join mentorships and courses, to be curious. Your purpose will never come out at you. And a lot of people go their whole lives without finding it because they don't put in the work. To find your purpose, there are so many resources out there, but it all starts with the idea, that the thought that you have something you're specifically meant for, that there is a creator, a universal source that made all humans, all animals, and all nature, and that this life, there's a destiny to it. You're meant to do something specific, and it's your job to figure that out. Only you can figure that out. So if you enjoy, drop me a rating, review, whatever platform. I appreciate you. Share it with a friend. That's the fee. Free podcast with a fee. The fee is share it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I'm wishing you a great day.